A gargantuan British aircraft carrier becomes a royal pain in the ass for Dominion.
We're not gonna make it.
Robin takes a deep dive on an underwater recovery mission.
We'll just keep dragging until we get it.
But how did a car wind up on the bottom of a lake? And there's nothing glamorous about the dive team's dirty job on this $90 million yacht.
There's your good stuff right there. Good on toast, eh?
For 50 years, this family's built a business where nobody else dares. Recovering, repairing, and resurrecting anything in the world's most dangerous waters. This is their world. Salt water in their blood, come hell and high water.
It's go time. Do or die.
In the summertime, and the harbor is bumping. But there's no holiday for the Dominion crew. It's peak business season, and Matt's feeling the heat.
Well, it's quite a busy situation that's going on in the harbor. We got a couple container ships. We got a car carrier. Yeah, right now we got almost our entire pup tug fleet out servicing the different areas of the harbor. At this moment, we're all hands and then some on deck.
HMS Queen Elizabeth, the world's newest aircraft carrier, has just landed in Halifax Harbor.
This aircraft carrier is super cool. On a scale of 1 to 10, every time I hear there's an aircraft carrier coming to the harbor, I'm at about a 12.
The Queen Elizabeth is the first in a new class of super carriers and the biggest ship the Royal Navy has ever built. It rises 39 meters above the waterline, taller than most cruise ships. It's as long as 4 Boeing 747s, nearly 300 meters in total length. And it can carry up to 60 fighter jets. As HMS Queen Elizabeth proudly enters the harbor, nearly 1,000 crew members aboard flank the flight deck like matchsticks. A symbolic gesture to show this ship's come in peace. This is HMS Queen Elizabeth's first port of call on this side of the pond. It was supposed to be tied up at the Canadian Navy dock, but it was too big.
The reason why you see the aircraft carrier out in the middle of the harbor is basically the length of them, the overall sheer size. We don't have a dock that's equipped the length of it. Most of our naval docks protrude outward, they're fingers. So you have something that's 1,000 feet or 1,100 feet sticking out into the harbor, you basically cut the harbor off.
Dominion's been hired to help resupply it. Matt couldn't be happier.
These things just rock out. They need lots of services. They need lots of personnel, equipment, supplies. They're a lot of fun anyway, just because they look really neat. You can see them off in different horizons. You can see them in different areas of the city that normally you can't see what's in the harbor. Just the grandness of it is impressive, that we're able to house these here and provide them with all the services they need.
Over at Duck Rock, Robin and Sean scramble to prepare for this royal visit. It looks like a scene from out back of your local grocery store. Right now, they're unloading a barge worth of fresh produce. Fresh fruit and fresh veggies are hard to come by out at sea, but Dominion's restocking the shelves of this noble traveler.
They now need 250 tons of water a day. They produce 30 metric cubic meters of garbage each day. There's other things to come off the ship and things that we have to lift on, provisions and stuff like that. Just turned into a huge job. So we're gonna have everything we own, every barge, every boat, every person is gonna be dealing with this thing. You know, that's what we do. We pull rabbits out of our hat, and that's what we're gonna do again.
Operating a supply chain means Dominion is solely responsible for providing food, water, and sanitary services. In other words, everything these sailors eat, drink, and, well, you know. For the next 5 nights, Dominion must see to Her Majesty's every whim.
Well, you need your daily essentials like your water, your potable water. When you flush your toilet, that got to go somewhere. Garbage. When you're out at anchorage, you're surrounded by water, so the only way to get it out there is by boat and barge.
But with so many jobs on the go, boat and barge are in short supply. Right now, Sean desperately needs to free up some barge real estate. But his plans hit a bump in the road. Okay, actually, it hit something else.
So we have some sectional barges coming in. They're 40 feet long, 10 feet wide, 7 feet tall. They came up from Louisiana.
A sectional barge is a modular barge that comes in pieces the size of shipping containers to be assembled in the water like Lego.
It's 1 barge per truck. We've got 8 trucks coming in. They showed up here this morning, Monday morning. 2 of them made it down. 1 took a little shortcut at the top of the road and actually took out a power pole. In the middle of everything going on, and we've just added to this issue that we'll probably have to shut down the power to the building when they eventually come here to repair the problem up top here.
All 8 pieces of the sectional barge have finally arrived, ready to be offloaded from the truck, craned into the water, and tied together. It's kind of like stitching up an ultra-heavy-duty quilt that floats. The completed sectional barge will be a working platform for Dominion out at the aircraft carrier, but the tugboat that was supposed to deliver it just blew a rudder.
The Roseway came back and we spun her rudder. She's got 2 rudders. 1 spun around backwards. We're just having a look now, so we got to try to sort that out. That's our main tugboat here for moving barges around. It's the most suitable boat. It's got the most horsepower. It's twin screw, so most maneuverability. So we got to get that going here. Boats that we're going to do other stuff are going to do some Roseway's work, so we got to pick up the slack with the Roseway till that's fixed and back in commission. And that's either going to be a quick fix or not a quick fix.
Resources are already spread razor thin, and losing their best boats a real kick at the crown jewels. Can they get it together on time, or is the Dominion crew on a crash course for disaster? It's the busy summer season for Dominion, and the dive team is prepping for another big job. Boots tosses down gear. Jacob loads the van, and Gary scarfs down his lunch before hitting the road. They're off to meet Robin, who's off on a rare freshwater job.
Well, we're going down to Porter's Lake. We've got a car that went through the ice on this winter.
Porter's Lake is a long, narrow channel on Nova Scotia's eastern shore. And somewhere on the very murky bottom is a wet automobile that fell through a crack in the ice. When Porter's Lake is frozen over in winter, cars shortcut across the ice. It's dumb and dangerous. The driver was lucky to escape with their life. The car's got to be hauled out so it doesn't leak oil and gas into the environment.
This is not the first car that I've pulled out of this part of the lake. Cars are driving up the lake. It's safe to drive on. You know, the ice will be 12 or 18 inches thick, and then you get to this one spot where the ice is of that thickness right to the edge, and in they go. It's just right down by my house, so we'll be using my boat. So we're gonna turn this into a diving boat.
But there's no getting a crane on board here.
This thing's old. It's like 30.
Cars.
Yeah, it's like 35 years old, that old thing, man. It's just been around forever.
So Robin's floating another idea to bring the car to the surface.
These are lift bags, pretty straightforward. It's an envelope of air that you capture underwater, and the amount of water that this bag displaces is equal to its lift that it generates. So this bag, when it's full of air, will displace 2,000 pounds of water. Therefore, it will lift 2,000 pounds of weight. It's just a law of buoyancy. They're good for lifting cars. They're good for lifting all kinds of stuff. Today, they're good for lifting cars.
I think we're pretty much ready to go.
All right, you are ready to go, we'll throw lines.
With his pop-up dive boat complete, Robin's ready to start hunting for a sunken car wreck. Day 2 of the HMS Queen Elizabeth's royal visit to Halifax Harbor, and she still needs supplies. Her Majesty's not used to waiting, but Sean's finally figured out how to make room on the barge to start getting them out there.
Just getting the fenders lined up correctly on the barge. The stern of the aircraft carrier is going to be right here. So this goes against the carrier, and the gangway will go from here. Gangway's got to span because of the bumpers. So we get that gangway in there. And then all the little shuttle boats are going to come on the end. And those 3 wooden rafts that are up there, we got to get them in the water, get them pinned. They're going to go on the very end of the barge for some smaller stuff.
Out behind him, Dominion is prepping HMS Queen Elizabeth's first water delivery.
Donnie's coming in with the water dog there now.
We're getting the water dog moved off from anchor to take down and fill full of fresh water so that we can take it out and fill up their potable water.
Gotta get you to back up, okay? So we can disconnect the line from the north buoy, transfer them over to her berth, okay?
The water dog is a big empty barge used to move water around. Right now, it's sandwiched between 2 other barges. The water dog needs to be tied up to a boat, tugged away, and filled up with water for the thirsty sailors aboard HMS Queen Elizabeth.
So basically what we're doing right now is we're tying up to this barge and getting it ready to push over to another dock in Dartmouth here. And it's got to be done right so you can have control of the barge. If it's not done right, you're not going to have control. And that's not a good situation.
Unfortunately, the best boat for the job is out of commission.
Yeah, Roseway had rudder issues this morning, so we're going to use this boat instead. The Roseway is better for it, but it's, like I said, it's not an option right now, so.
The Roseway packs a 1-2 punch of power and maneuverability, thanks to twin propellers called screws and twin rudders. It can turn on the spot and move in relatively tight quarters. By contrast, the boat they're using, the Bearcat, has 1 screw and 1 rudder, so it needs to cut a wide arc to make its turns. Longtime Dominion employee Donnie has a real love affair with the Roseway.
The Roseway has 500 horsepower. That's number 1. One of the main aspects of the Roseway is it is twin-engined and twin-rudder. So I can make a turn very quick, getting it into tight little spots.
So we're turning right around. Okay. Yeah.
Donnie drives it so much that around Dominion, they call it Donnie's boat.
The Roseway belongs to Dominion Diving. I just drive it most of the time.
But Big Christian's learning that when Donnie's not at the helm, he's a real backseat driver.
Gotta get you to back up, okay? So we can disconnect the line from the north buoy, transfer them over to her berth, okay?
Big Christian and Donnie just aren't speaking the same language.
Get hard on door! Get hard! Power!
What's he saying?
Let's just say things are getting a little bumpy.
We're not going to make it. I don't know, man. This is way more difficult than it needs to be. I've never seen it this hard to tie up a barge. Everything's last minute and rushed and chaos.
Just give it a little power, we're hard to port.
Little power, hard to port. All right.
Sean can sense the frustration from shore.
A lot of yelling out there.
This obviously isn't going well. They're supposed to be maneuvering dockside to retrieve a pump that'll hook up to the aircraft carrier, but they're struggling to bring it in.
So I thought they were coming in for their water pump. Now I don't know if they're coming in or just going to go straight down and start filling up.
The Roseway would be a big help right about now.
Right out the port. Right out the port. Take a big long turn again.
Okay.
They're falling behind schedule, so Sean reroutes this mission in an attempt to get things back on track.
Funny if she's too tight to get her in with that boat. You guys can just go down, fill her with water. I mean, we can move the pump down later on the boat or something. Yeah, okay, well, let's move it down the IEL dock and we'll get the water on the go.
Halifax traffic, Dominion Bearcat.
Dominion Bearcat, Halifax traffic.
Yes, we're departing Dartmouth Cove, pushing a 90-foot barge and heading to IEL.
With the HMS Queen Elizabeth waiting for water, it's a fight against wind, tide, and time.
Yes, I see the boys struggling out there with the boat a little bit. The wind's got them and they're spinning around. Although it's tugboat, it's not the twin screw tugboat, so it's single screw and it's a bit higher, so it's catching a bit of wind. It's an aluminum boat, so you can see them out there. It's a tight spot in here. We got high tide, a bunch of rebar over on the other side. With this barge, you know, we lost another 40 feet up here in our little gut that we call. It'd be pretty tricky getting it in. So I just got the boys to head down to the big dock down there and start filling it with water, and we'll move the pump just on the boat.
The water dog's off to get filled, but Big Christian, he's already had his fill for the day.
Oh man, I'm never doing this again, ever. This is fucking stupid is what this is.
While the Queen Elizabeth is waiting for her water delivery, Robin and his improvised dive boat are on a search and recovery mission for a sunken sedan somewhere at the bottom of this lake. Robin's got the GPS coordinates from the fire department, but the marker buoys are nowhere to be found.
If we want to try dragging for it there a little bit. Yeah. The anchor's right here. Yeah, maybe just put it off the bow and I'll just go up ahead and then just drop it down to bottom. We'll drift down on it a couple of times, see if we get into something. Yeah, just gonna drag for it and get it with the anchor. Just drop it down until it touches and then pull up on it a little bit. They had a couple of anchor buoys on it and people come take the buoys away. So we're just trying to drag for it and catch it with an anchor so that we can not waste any time. When it's time to dive on it, we can go right down, put the slings on it, and Bob's your uncle.
They're going to use the anchor like a big fish hook, dragging it across the bottom to see if they can catch the car. It's angling for automobiles.
Fishing for cars.
But their prized catch ain't biting.
Yeah, you gotta be patient with this stuff, right? Takes a minute. Catch anything there, buddy?
No, nothing yet, just skipping across the rock. And we've drifted past that round rock.
Yeah, well, we'll just keep dragging until we get it, right? It didn't get itself out of the lake.
They can find it on Google, but it's nowhere in reality. Is this car gonna be the big one that got away? Out on the harbor, Big Christian and Donnie are on their way to fill up the water dog. It's been a testy morning, but they're finally on track to refill HMS Queen Elizabeth's water supply.
Right now we're taking this 90-foot water barge to Irving Equipment Dock in Woodside, and we're gonna fill it up with water. It's gonna be bound for the aircraft carrier.
It's been a tough day for Donnie without his favorite boat. As they begin the pumping process, there's good news.
Donnie, just talking to Sean there, Roseway is fixed. He wants, as soon as we're situated here, he wants to get you back to Dock Rock.
Now it's up to Dwayne and Dwayne alone to fill up the water dog, which is just fine by him.
Let's do the whole work smarter, not harder fucking aspect of this shit show.
Left all alone, Dwayne can do things his way.
See? And now, I can control shutting water on and off here as opposed to going way to hell up there.
Dwayne will be babysitting this barge until it's filled to the brim. In the meantime, the Roseway's rudder is fixed, and the sectional barge is finally on its way out to the HMS Queen Elizabeth. Back at Porter's Lake, Robin's switching strategies to try to retrieve a sunken car.
We're dragging anchors, doing drag lines across the 2 sets of coordinates that we have, and we're not hooking anything. So we have a set of coordinates from the fire department of the hole that was in the ice. So we're gonna drop a marker buoy on those set of coordinates, and we're gonna dive on it to see if we can manually find this thing underwater.
Diver Jacob suits up.
Right now I'm really hot, getting dressed, and I can't wait to get in the water. Find this car finally.
But the clock's ticking. They only have 1 air tank. If they don't find the car soon, there won't be enough dive time to finish it out.
You got 2.5 hours if you're on 40-foot table, okay?
All right, I should be able to find it.
So anything over 30 foot's a 40-foot table.
There's little time, and underwater, even less visibility. It's like trying to dive in a chocolate milkshake down there.
Not sure if we got the right bait for it.
It's taking way longer than expected. Robin's neighbors, whose son sunk the car, are wondering what's up.
I went back to the fire department's coordinates on the ice and drop a buoy there. We're gonna do a search on that because maybe the anchor's not hooking it. Like, we're not getting anything, but it's here.
So right now we just dropped a marker buoy, and so that's our life jacket with some weights that's just going straight down. So that was on GPS coordinates that were taken from the fire department when they had ice on the lake. So we just used that, and then we sent the diver down with a line on it so he could do a circle search.
To find something lost in murky waters, they first drop a buoy where they think it might be. And then a diver hitches a rope on and begins swimming in concentric circles, getting bigger and bigger until they find what they're looking for, or they run out of rope. All they can do is wait, and these fishermen are at the end of their rope. Every second spent looking for the car is time they won't have to retrieve it.
Find it? No.
Robin's reached the end of his tether.
Well, today's kind of fucked. We came out to, what the plan was to have the wreck or the car be marked with a buoy. So we had everything sort of set up to perform a dive, put lift bags on, and follow a process to do that. We had to right away switch gears to start searching for the car because it wasn't in the location that it was, the coordinates that we had from the fire department. It wasn't there.
Hold that ladder.
Robin's calling it a day. You don't catch something every time you go out fishing.
Even if we were able to find the car today, it would put the kibosh on the ability to recover it because we need a couple of cycles of diving to get the bags on it and get it floated to surface.
But it's not all bad.
Sunny out. Nice day on the lake. It's a good day for a cold beer, but we don't have any, so.
No beers and no car either.
Couldn't see anything, but it's muddy bottom. You can't even see the fingers in front of your face.
Now they gotta head out and dismantle this makeshift dive pontoon. But first, an update for the car's owners.
I'll explain to them what it costs to come up and do what we did here today and all that and do a report. So just to know there's no oil or sign of anything, that kind of stuff. And the damage that you'll do pulling this thing out is far exceeds the damage to be done by leaving it down there, letting the fish live in it. Anyway, we'll come up with something and we'll make it better. No problem, anytime. Take care.
Day 3 of HMS Queen Elizabeth's stay in the Halifax Harbor. And Sean and Robin are up at the crack of dawn. A queen-sized grocery order's just come in for the aircraft carrier. 50 pallets of fresh produce. And the clock is ticking to deliver the goods. But how do you deliver thousands of pounds of fresh groceries to an aircraft carrier the size of a floating city?
We got to get them loaded and get them out alongside the ship before the sun gets at them and everything starts to wilt. So it's a bit of a rush right now.
Her Majesty's ship is hungry, and they need to fill every square inch of the Mercury barge to feed her.
Because we haven't got no place to really put it here to get turned around and everything.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Robin's got to clear some space on this barge, and do it fast. And he's not afraid to rise to the occasion.
Bit of chaos in here like it always is. There's always short on people and short on boats and barges, but we seem to squeak by.
Can you boom up?
They're making space, but the view from above reveals the next problem. The grocery barge is pinned between the dock and another barge.
Why don't we just get a boat, hook onto it, go out and get our anchor, hang off the anchor.
Over, get some birds or something there.
Robin and Sean rush aboard the Roseway.
We're gonna move this anchor barge here. We got one anchor out. We gotta pick that up. So we gotta move this barge for Donnie to get the grocery barge out of there, right?
But just as they're getting underway, Sean gets a call. HMS Queen Elizabeth needs to empty its slop bucket.
They want now the slop oil barge, so we're scrambling down here to get that together for alongside for 9:30.
Now they gotta load up these containment units to store slop oil. The contaminant created by operating the massive cogs and gears of this ship.
When they do oil changes or bilge water, something that can't be treated at sea, can't be disposed of at sea, they store it on board to be environmentally friendly. We then take that off in certified containers, then we transport it to the facility to be processed properly.
And they want the slop oil barge at the same time as the groceries.
I need the slop oil barge for 9:30, and I need the food out there for 9:30.
This morning couldn't get any busier. Time is tight. This queen waits for no man. Across the harbor, Dominion's got another high-class client to deal with. A mega yacht. It's 70 meters long, weighs in at over 1,500 tons, and it could be yours for just $90 million. This yacht's on a summertime cruise up the Atlantic coast from its home port in Bermuda, and it's collected a lot of grime along the way.
So today we're getting ready to go over for a hull scrub over in Halifax. We're going to be glorified cleaning ladies for the day. We got to mob up the Bearcat, get it all ready to go, and then go over to Halifax and find this mega yacht we're supposed to clean.
It might not be royalty, but this luxury craft is fit for a king.
It's a pretty nice boat. Definitely rather be having beers on the deck than scrubbing the hull in the water, but I don't know, it looks like a nice boat. It's a nice day, so it's good to get a day to go diving.
This boat is incredible. I don't know if I'm ever going to own one in my lifetime or two of my lifetimes, but I get a chance to clean it.
The hull may look clean from this angle, but down below the waterline is a corrosive cocktail of barnacles, algae, and salt. But that doesn't mean they can scratch up the paint. Good thing they brought along an armory of cleaning supplies.
The big guns today are outdoor scrub brush. This is a weapon of choice when we do these kind of jobs. Another thing is the old Brillo pad. It's another thing we use. Fucking does great, gets all the stuff off the hull. And then let's got a toilet brush and ice scraper. This is great for hulls because it doesn't scratch the finish. It's expensive and it gets barnacles off real good.
Ollie's ready, and Jacob's right behind him. It comes down to elbow grease and grit. As the divers clean, Big Christian is happy to supervise from the deck.
Now you guys are doing a bang-up job there, man. That's awesome. I couldn't do it any better myself.
It may look like a simple scrape down, but there's a lot more involved than just putting your muscle into it.
Well, the hard thing about scrubbing, like people who scrub their cars, like you're standing on solid ground, so you kind of have something to brace yourself on. When you're in the water, you don't. So every
bit of elbow grease or force you put onto the hull of the boat pushes you off. So you need to counteract that with swimming.
They've barely cleaned off a meter of grime.
And we've been at it, I think, a little bit over 2 hours now. There's a whole bunch of soft sea growth. It's just sticky. It just doesn't like coming off. So if you want to do a good thorough job, you just got to put a bit of elbow grease into it. Kind of like grind, and then you're finally done.
Big Christian's impatience is getting the best of him.
It's not going as well as planned. Kind of like eating soup with a fork. So they're going to be here a lot longer than we thought. It's a shitty job. Trying to paddle in the water and hold on to a scrub brush and scrub mussels off the side of a yacht. So it's not desirable work, and probably going to be here all day. So we thought it would be a couple hours, but we're going to be here all day. So good thing I brought lunch.
Out in the middle of Halifax Harbor, there's also a lot of hungry crew members to feed. Nearly 1,000. Luckily, Queen Elizabeth's grocery order has arrived.
So we loaded 50 pallets of groceries. They're out there. I was just out there alongside the carrier, and they're doing quite well. We had to mobilize our slop oil barge this morning, put our double containment tanks on one of our other barges. It's always an interesting process.
This isn't Dominion's first aircraft carrier, but it's always a monster challenge.
This is a big one. They're pretty interesting vessels. They're difficult to interface with because of the shape of them and the overhang of the flight deck and things like that. Even the tugs and things that gotta handle them. If they're not configured for handling aircraft carriers, then they have appendages and things like that that are in the way, like masts and antennas and stuff. But it's familiar to us, but it's definitely a difficult beast, and this thing doesn't stop. It's producing garbage, it's needing water, it's all these things are happening.
Dominion's not just the aircraft carrier's grocer, they're the garbage men too. How do you get nearly 1,000 people's trash off this towering titan? Dumpsters.
So this is our first garbage bin that has arrived. I was getting a little bit worried that we weren't going to have any. There's a shortage in town because of cruise ships and everything on the go. Right now, it's really difficult to get bins.
With the weekend coming, Sean is desperately trying to hoard as many dumpsters as he can get his hands on.
You had a couple empties and we're coming back. I'd definitely take them. What we've come up with is they're going to empty the bins, take the bins back to us. So it's a bit of a process, but I have to try to maintain the bins that we have, especially on the weekend.
The weekend may be on the horizon, but if Sean doesn't stock up on bins, TGIF is going to stand for This Garbage is Full. Back across the harbor, divers Ollie and Jacob are still scrubbing down the mega yacht. But Supervisor Christian has come up with a plan to speed things up.
Talked about it earlier. It's taking way longer than we thought it was going to, and I'm going to try to do what I can to help these guys. I'm going to screw this on the end of this pole, go along the side of the boats where I can reach and do some of the scrub for them. And that'll help speed the process up a little bit. Oh yeah, there's your good stuff right there. Good on toast, eh?
But he can't really get anything done without getting wet.
I'm actually going to put a diving suit on and jump in too, so the more the merrier, right?
But Big Christian isn't exactly suited for diving. He's about to get a taste of what the divers go through every day.
I feel like I want to flip upside down. Okay. This thing's very buoyant. Like that.
The next part of this job is an underwater inspection, so Ollie's pulling double duty. Diver and underwater cameraman.
I'm going to go in and do an inspection of the turning gear. They just basically want to see what it looks like and the condition it's in. Then after that, then we're going to continue on and clean the rest of the hull.
as pretty when you're looking at it from underneath, but Ollie gives it the A-OK. After 8 hours of scrubbing, Ollie's brush with luxury doesn't feel so fabulous.
I was definitely glad to get out of the water. I was pretty tired. Kind of felt like when I was swimming over the ladder that I wasn't gonna be able to crawl out. Thanks, boys. It's tight there. Yeah. Woo. Fuck, I had my beard pinched between the toilet seat the whole time. I couldn't move my face. Oh. Decided to shit.
Had your butt short curlies.
I know, right? Definitely glad to get out and call it a day.
But Ollie's not the only one who's gassed.
A lot more fucking appreciation for what you guys do.
Oh, it's hard, eh?
Just keeping yourself from flipping over.
Yeah.
Let's just say it was a humbling experience for everyone.
I was cleaning a yacht with a toilet brush that you get at the dollar store.
Yeah.
The boys bid adieu to the belle of the ball. But back at Duck Rock, Sean's dealing with another high-maintenance client. His collection of dumpsters has arrived, resting in reserve for Her Royal Highness, out in the harbor. It's HMS Queen Elizabeth's last day in Halifax Harbor, and Matt's on his way out to see the big ship off.
Halifax traffic, this is the Dominion Bearcat departing Duck Rock, Dartmouth Cove, heading to anchorage number 1.
Out in the harbor, speedboats buzz around the aircraft carrier like bees buzzing around their queen.
Right now, we can see it's FRC Fast Rescue Craft, or Fast Response Craft. They carry a few of those on board, just for quick deployment.
The HMS Queen Elizabeth is packing up, and so is Dominion.
Now, where the vessel's getting ready to leave, the Roseway's hooking onto the back of the Poseidon barge to then be able to take her position or take it off the back of the Queen Elizabeth, put it back at Duck Rock.
Matt's doing one last spot check.
We just did a 360 around it just to make sure, confirm that we didn't leave no ropes hanging off for a quick tie-up. So it is all clear.
Loaded with supplies to keep her at sea for the next 14 days, HMS Queen Elizabeth is ready to set sail down the eastern seaboard. The next stop on this tour of duty will be off the coast of the United States, where the HMS Queen Elizabeth crew will conduct aircraft compatibility trials. But for Matt, this stately port of call has been a reminder of the long tradition of Royal Navy vessels seeking refuge in these waters.
Halifax has a long history of being a service port, way back from the war times to World War II. And it goes back before that, World War I. It goes back to the 17 and 1800s. We are a port of refuge. We're a port of services.
For Robin, the HMS Queen Elizabeth's visit is a reminder that both Halifax and Dominion Diving are defined by this harbor.
Halifax is an attractive port for these aircraft carriers, I believe, for several reasons. One's the availability of service, the size of the harbor, the depth of the harbor, plus it's the largest Navy base in Canada is right here in Halifax. I think the crew enjoys their shore leave. That's what the city's always been, port city. So yeah, they keep coming back, so something's right.
It's cool when people come here and they say about how friendly East Coast Canadians are. And we brush off on everybody.
The aircraft carrier is taking off, and the royal family is satisfied. But now Matt's got one last job, and this one is all about his family. It's time for a road trip with his mother, Pat.
Here, let me get that door for you, Mom.
Okay, love.
Let's rock and roll.
All the Lonis children have conspired to put together a big surprise for her.
See you, Kathy. Thank you. Bye-bye.
And everyone's in on it, except for Mama Lonis herself. With Mom safely loaded into the passenger seat, Matt hits the road. But to keep this secret under wraps, Matt needs a cover story.
Well, today we're going up to northern New Brunswick. It's about a four-hour drive to look at a piece of kit for Dominion Diving. and if I'm happy with it, I'm gonna buy it on site.
Matt's fictional piece of kit is a generator in another province. But Mama Lonis has no idea this road trip is all about her.
And I like going with the boys. I went to Costa Rica with Robin, and plus I've been on vacations with all of them. I said, even if they were the neighbors' children, I would say, my golly, they're nice. I like being with them.
What's your dream vehicle?
I've been looking at a couple, because this one now is 13 years old, and it's getting on there.
Mama Lonis wants a new car, and Matt's generator just so happens to be at a car dealership.
So it's a generator from an old RV unit or something.
Oh, okay.
So I guess.
See, what's this crossover right here?
That's a Hyundai Sport.
Okay.
And since they're already here, there's no harm in window shopping, right?
You like that one, Mom?
Well, I like that. That is not that Mazda red, though.
Oh, okay.
And I don't like the dark interior.
Ah, this vehicle here has beige, like a light-colored interior.
It's gorgeous inside.
I got the keys if you want to have a look.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Just have a look. See what you think of the
Well,
color.
I can see and look, and it's beautiful.
Well, Mom, I'm gonna be going out back to take a look at the generator. Take it for a blast, Mom.
My golly, Matthew.
Mama Lonis wasn't expecting a test drive today, but somehow the dealer managed to twist her rubber arm.
Will you enjoy?
Oh, isn't it nice? Smooth. I don't like driving other people's vehicles.
Yeah.
I'm nervous. I'm nervous to drive even a rent-a-car. Okay, I take the road just past the parking lot. Like I said, if a car like this comes up 2 years from now of this type, I probably can afford it then.
Yeah.
I can't now. I drive a little more risky when I'm driving my own vehicle, but not this one. I wouldn't dare. Well, it certainly is a lovely vehicle. Yeah. No, nice. Oh, my. Well, she's a beauty, that's for sure. She's a beauty. It's a lovely car, isn't it?
Nice, eh?
Yeah, it's nice. I said, now I know, rather than just read on my iPad what the different cars are, I now have something physically to compare to it.
Right. There's,
The generator's good to go?
ready to go. It's right outside if you want to come and have
It's right outside. Let's go take a look.
All right.
Let's go inside.
I'll follow you.
Yep.
Okay.
It's over here beside the truck. Can you give us a hand?
What? With the I can't lift anything.
Yeah. There's one thing you got to give you, though, to help lift it.
What?
These are for you, Mrs. Lonis.
No.
Yes, they're for you.
I can't afford that. I told you I can't afford a car that new.
It's already done and paid for, Mom.
No.
That's from your kids.
No. Oh, my.
Love you, Mom.
Oh, sweetheart. Oh.
You always said you wanted a red one, right?
Oh, my God.
So, be Rob and Carol and Carla.
Oh, my dear sweetheart. Oh.
That's a generator.
Really?
That's it.
Oh, my God.
The cat's out of the bag, and Mama Lonis has got the keys. The Dominion team is a family. And just like any family, they fight.
Is what it is, brother. Halifax traffic, Dominion Bearcat.
But they're always at your service. And rest assured, no matter who visits next, they'll be treated like royalty by the lords of the ocean.